Hi, guys. Welcome to the Late Show. This is your host, Young Brando. How are you doing? Are we ready to talk watches? I'm gonna pull up the Sotheby's auction. We were left right at this beautiful piece last time. This is the two-tone execution of the original, the Royal Oak Jumbo, as it was designed by Gerard Janta and released in the Basel Fair of 1972. The model celebrated half a century last year, its 50th anniversary. And this is one of the very first to be made in two-tone. And you can see that from the case number that is clearly exhibited here. Um, you would know that the stainless steel models are usually sold as A series, B series, C series, and even D series, each being a run of 2,000 pieces. And they would be numbered number AXXX. In this case, you can see that this watch is in fact one of the first 250, and specifically number 234 of the examples made in two-tone, which was, of course, mainly stainless steel, but with an octagonal bezel in 18 karat yellow gold. The tapering interlinks, likewise in 18 karat yellow gold. Of course, the fixtures of the dial also match that material. It's that classic night blue dial that was made for them by Stern Création. Um, of course, the family company that had bought Patek Philippe in the 30s and that still lead Patek under the guise of Thierry Stern or Stern. Um, hey man,
Hi,
welcome to the show. How are you doing, man?
just woke up.
Good, good. I was trying to reach you in the background, but I was guessing that you were asleep. Good to see you,
Yeah,
man. How are you?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Yeah, tell me, you were with Jamie Opulence yesterday, right?
Yeah, I want to show you some pictures. You want to see?
Of course, of course. Let's do that. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah. You
I
want me to
will.
share them?
Yeah, I will. You have some of these on your Instagram, right? Can we pull up your Instagram? Would
Yeah,
that be
yeah,
okay?
sure.
Let's do that. Yeah. So our community members, Jamie Opulence and Iserdis, my friend this
These
right
are this.
here,
These are this.
were on the streets of Tel Aviv. Here's Jamie with his reverso on the wrist. And
Ah,
this.
wait, hamburger.
It looks like it. Yeah, I can see it in the background. Is that
Yeah.
a life size picture?
Nah,
No. Is it
nah.
is it good? Would you recommend it? Do they have a
Oh, it's
vegan
amazing.
alternative?
Ask Jamie. It was amazing. Yeah.
This was great.
Jamie, opulence.
What's happening, guys?
What's happening?
Shalom,
Woo!
shalom,
Shalom.
shalom. We got the cigarette, we got the beer. What more do you need?
You need plastic. Yo, guys, I'm here with.
Man, I cracked up so much when I first saw this. It was, yeah, because for me it brings memories of home, like people talking with cigarettes in their mouth. That's pure masculine energy for me. And it's even funnier that You dropped it. Yeah, man.
Oh, and another one. I want to show you a picture. Just a sec.
Looking for Sirocco at the marina. Let me see that. Oh yeah, I think that's on Jamie's page. Let me pull that up.
Okay.
I saw that on Jamie's page, so we can uh, a slightly better quality. Yeah, this is it, right?
Yes.
Lovely. It's beautiful, man.
Man, Jamie is love. Jamie is love.
Yeah, what else did you guys do? You got some burgers.
Smoke some cigarettes together. Um, went to Herzliya Beach, to the marina.
Yeah.
Look, looked for Sirocco. Didn't find him.
Sirocco is nowhere to be found.
No. And then we parted ways.
You should have more than the marina. I think you should have brought out the beer. That's what brings Sirocco out of his shell.
Yeah, I can't drink because I'm bipolar, but yeah. I'm meeting him again in 4 hours, 4.5 hours.
Oh, good. What's the plan? What's on the docket today? What's the plan
We,
for
we are going
for?
to tour Tel Aviv. This isn't Tel Aviv. We are going to
Okay,
tour Tel Aviv.
this is in Herzliya.
Fasaba. Fasaba.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Where are you gonna take him take him in Tel Aviv?
Actually, there's a guy named Yashavi. You know Yashavi?
Yes, he's in the chat very often, and he leaves nice comments on my videos. Taking the piss out of me
Yeah.
sometimes. It's fun.
He's a tour guide. He knows Tel Aviv like the back of his hand.
I
So he's
didn't
going to
realize.
take
Yeah,
us to show us things in Jaffa and Tel Aviv.
nice.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So what's the first stop? Where are you guys meeting, and where are you going first?
We're meeting where Jamie is staying. I won't say the hotel, but we're meeting at his hotel.
Okay, and then do you know the first stop? Where are you going from there?
Jaffa.
Okay, so you're
Old
gonna
Jaffa.
visit the old city.
Yes.
Very cool.
And that's it.
Well, I'm sure you'll spend the entire day basically. He's there for a few days, right?
Yes.
For
For
three,
this
four
until
days.
Wednesday.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Good man. Well traveled man. It's good. Jamie's cool.
Uh, Pavel, actually, he loves it. He loves the Gerber baby moniker. I talked to him about it. He says one time he was in his kitchen and he saw the Gerber baby because he has a little daughter. And he said, "Look, the baby is so cute. So why would they be offended by it?"
Well, look, I mean, for people also who age like me, I would appreciate having a baby face. Jamie looks timeless.
He does.
Jamie looks young.
He does.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
How is the honeymoon with the Fujitsubo?
I'm thinking if I should wear it for the meeting today. I would. I think I will
You should, of course.
because
What
I'm
else
going to
is
wear
there?
the shorts. I'm going to wear the shorts and the t-shirt. So
Because last time to meet Jamie today, you wore your GMT master. Yesterday, I mean.
yeah,
Yeah, do
exactly.
a little different, something a little
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
Maybe you guys will jump in the water a little bit, take a little swim. No,
Do you mind if I do some morning stuff? I gotta make coffee.
of course, take your time, man.
So you talk whatever we talked about. This Patek thingy. AP.
Same difference.
But dude, did you
Just
just
kidding.
escape the prison?
Me?
Yes.
I'm here, man. I'm here for a while. You did see
No,
me
look,
out
look,
though.
the color of your shirt.
I thought it was pink.
I love. Oh, it looks orange.
It's okay, man.
I
Orange
love
is
you.
the new black, as the
I'm
show has
kidding.
it.
I'm kidding, man. I love you.
I love it too. Grab some coffee, come back.
Okay.
I'm right here still. Oh, I don't think I will pull this up, but check this out, guys. If you have time and if you're interested in pocket watches, they also have a live auction coming up in Geneva. They have some incredible pieces, some pendant stuff, some stuff that predates the invention of the hairspring, so Verge watches, insanely decorated pieces, um, by Breguet, by others, by Beauvais pocket watches made for the Chinese markets, Breguet pieces made for the Ottomans, um, like a ring watch like this, which has the balance visible up here. It's just the mind blowing stuff at Sotheby's called Centuries of Time, and I think it's one person's collection, and it has some incredible stuff. Some stuff that's a little more decorative, but almost every single thing has some timekeeping function, and certainly important aspects of Swiss artisan crafts. Like look at these. This was apparently made for the Ottoman ambassador of Paris at the time, early 19th century. With Eastern Arabic numerals. Man. Incredible stuff. Okay, I don't want to get carried away, but that's an interesting one that you should take a look at if you're into pocket watches at all. But yes, we were looking at the two-tone Royal Oak Jumbo, one of the first 250 to be ever made in the two-tone version, um, from the original run. This one probably around 1978, as they're saying here. And as you guys know, this is an online auction that's going to conclude on May 15th. So far, there are no bids on this one, and the two-tone seems to be a great deal. Also, it's hard to find some of these with the original dial design with the AP initial logo at 6 o'clock. This is an early example, and somehow made it either without service, without official service, or made it back with the original dial. So it makes it very precious, although it's a kind of, I think, value that's not necessarily appreciated by the mainstream market, because, when people want the original Royal Oak Jumbo reference 5402, they go for stainless steel, and it's understandable, right? Because That's how it was made. That's how it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be the most expensive stainless steel luxury watch. Um, the 18 karat yellow gold executions have their own markets, since they are, again, in such limited number, even compared to the stainless steel versions. The two tones are rare, but don't get as much interest. So both on the secondary market, and in a place like this, it might be an interesting chance to snipe. Of course, there's always all that buyer's premium and other fees that can add up, but this is lot number 334 from Important Watches Part 2 auction, which is an online exclusive by Sotheby's out of Geneva. And the estimated value of this watch is right around 26,750 to almost 56,000 US dollars, but with now less than 9 days to go, there's still no bids, and the starting bid is right around 22,300 US dollars. So there's that, something to keep in mind. I'm gonna put the link again in the chat as I usually do. Oh my God.
Hello.
What an honor. What an honor.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Good,
Shalom.
good, good.
Ma
Shalom.
shlomcha? Ma koreh?
Mate, the only thing I know is Shana Tova, which is like Happy New Year.
Yes.
But that's it. Let me show you Tel Aviv, man. This is
Please do.
let me flip the camera. Hang on.
Oh, look at that.
Flip the camera this way.
Man, you gotta love the Mediterranean. But of course, you're
Oh,
lucky enough to see it from the other shore, right? But still,
like
it's nice.
Cyprus, maybe?
Man.
Yeah. It reminds me of where I'm from, or where I'm living in Spain. Very
That's
similar.
that's what I meant, the
Ah.
Mediterranean. No, that I meant to say that's what you see from the other, from the Western Mediterranean.
Yeah,
This
literally,
is the
dude,
Eastern
literally
Mediterranean.
deep, right
Morning.
down the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
There's
Jamie.
people out there paddleboarding. Morning, mate.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's I think it's coming up to 7 a.m.
Yes.
There's a Hilton. Ah, it's gorgeous.
Very nice.
Yeah. So I just woke up.
So
How's
we
it
done.
going, Rob? Long time, man.
Good. I'm so happy to see you, man. How you been?
Yeah, pretty good. Had a good sleep. I think
Looking good.
yeah, thanks. Slept to probably about 11 p.m. and just woke up, so good sort of 7 hours sleep. But yeah,
Healthy.
today's going to be a good day. We've got Dis is coming. Do you know why I asked this? Why is his name called Disarez Diz?
Yeah, it's 10 10 10.
Yeah,
10 past 10.
exactly, in French. But he
Yeah,
didn't. It was meant to be Dix, as in the correct. But he said, he couldn't have done it because he would have got trolled. So he chose this.
Well.
So, but yeah, we're gonna do like basically all of Tel Aviv tourism. I think we're starting in Jaffa, and then take it from there. So
That's beautiful.
yeah. But I'm here until Wednesday. So Tuesday I'm going to Jerusalem and then over to Bethlehem. Bethlehem.
Bethlehem.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Beautiful. Good. And you're on, I mean, if it's not too private, you're on your own, right?
Yeah, yes, I'm on my own. Exactly. Yeah. But I really want to bring my missus, I texted her yesterday as I was taking off. I said, something along the lines of like, my dream is to bring you both to the Holy Land. This place is so special. Like, you can just feel it. I mean, not so much Tel Aviv is kind of newish. There's a lot of modern, but you go to Jerusalem, that place. It's you know, you got the Armenian quarter, the Christian quarter, the Arab quarter, the Jewish quarter. I mean, it's so important for so many people.
Yeah. Oh.
Hey.
Wow. Look at that.
How's it going?
Hey, man.
I always miss your shows because I never know when they're on. You're not bad, mate, are you?
Daddy's out on a job. He's doing a job. It's 5:40 in the morning.
Well, I don't know. You never know. You never know what Danny's up to. So.
You don't.
Look at
You
it.
have an idea.
Only the teeth.
How's it going?
Five.
How's it?
Jump on, Pauli. The
Nice.
link is pinned there. Jump on.
Is Powie still up? Is he still up, Powie?
Yeah, it seems.
Come on, Powie. Jump on, mate. I always miss your shows because I never know what time they're on. That's why I never come on.
They're always the same, but maybe they're either too early or too late for you, probably, because it's 8 to midnight my time. But I'm starting next Monday. I'm starting basically Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm gonna do something at noon my time, which
just
you can probably
do what suits you, mate.
better.
Yeah, just let me know. But just do what suits you, don't you, mate? You have done before, so don't change it now.
So let me see. 10. Yeah, 10 for me will be 8 p.m. for you. 12 for me will be 8 p.m. for you. So, you know.
What day? Tomorrow.
I'll do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Let me know because I will jump on with you. It's just never know when you're on.
That'll be great. Bruce G, hey, how are you doing? Mark Daniels, great to see you both.
So what you were saying, Jamie?
Yeah. What am I saying or seeing?
Saying. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Just chilling, mate. Just chilling. Gonna have a good day in Tel Aviv, but basically.
With this.
With Disser as Diz and a guy coming over from Jerusalem, another guy.
Yeah, and he also hangs out here. Yasha V. That's his name.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's his YouTube name. His handle.
Yasha V.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've spoke to him quite a bit on WhatsApp. I've got a long history of messages, so very intelligent guy. Pretty intelligent guy. So yeah, he'll keep me in this, under control.
In line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys take care of each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Brando, have you bought out new?
What's up?
I says, have you bought out new?
That translates to, have you bought anything new?
I'm sorry, man. Danny, I've been so Americanized. I don't understand anything these days.
But he said out.
I have actually gotten something micro brand, small little thing for myself that I'm going to unbox on Monday.
I love a gun unboxing, mate.
That's let me see if I can do a teaser. This is the.
Is it PRX? Fabergé egg.
I mean, if someone, I'll do anything for a super chat. So if someone gives $5 or up, I will unbox it now, just so I can show it off to this Jamie and 5.
And I'll take my top off and throw it in rain.
Just don't streak. You're on your bike, on your bicycle.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, just going home now.
Nice.
He's just going home at 5:50 in the morning.
Yeah.
Mate, what have you done this evening?
He was.
Some also.
Hey, man, God save the king. Man. He's. Yeah, where have you been celebrating? Is that what it is? Oh, Jamie. These are these
I'm not
15 shekels. Jamie is a sexy man. So now I will unbox, huh?
Stay sexy.
Okay, so this
Lord is very attractive, sexy.
What's this?
What's the building on the box?
it's the Duomo Cathedral from
Oh,
Rome.
yeah.
Do you guys read it? It's a little bit of a tribute as well, even though it's unintentional.
Archie watch.
Yes.
Fucking hell.
So it actually came on a neo strap.
A fucking NATO strap, mate. That's fucking really good. Should unbox it on my show, mate.
But I put it on a leather strap now. So
oh my god!
Nice.
This is the Archie watch.
Wow! Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I really like it. It's
What is it?
it's this French company called Merci.
Oh, you love them, I know.
Yeah, they did it in collaboration with this French dealer of vintage watches called the Archie watch. And he designed it kind of after vintage, Calatrava style pieces with an Celita, SW210, like a hand wound movement.
Okay.
Very slim.
Yeah.
With this sort of sector dial in different shades of gray and a Breguet numeral at 12. So it's a cool little thing.
Yeah, and that tan leather as well, that's going to go well with your outfit.
I think so, except I've been already taking the piss out of with this telling me when are you getting out of prison. Apparently it looks too orange. But
right.
Okay. It's
Are you on day release?
It's not prison. It's a mental asylum.
I know all about it.
And I'm never getting out of it. This is my permanent dwelling. Yeah, so this is the thing.
Wear's great, man.
Yeah, I like it because I have all the real beaters that I have are Seikos. They're all diver style watches, and I love them to death. But sometimes I just want to wear something low key, low stake, but something that's a little dressier. Something that's a little more classic styled rather than sporty. So.
What? It would very attractive, sexy on your wrist.
I'm not doing this, Danny. I'm not doing this. You are. I'm feeling real PTSD.
Not it's bullshit.
With your permission, I can crack open a cold one. Is that okay?
Yes.
Nice.
Hi, JJ. Nice to see you.
Just quickly.
We had some allegations about Danny, apparently.
Is it me?
No, not me.
Power.
I mean, you don't come back home on a bicycle at that time of the morning unless you're doing something suspicious.
Mate, it's bizarre. It's bizarre. We're on to you, Danny. The net's closing in. We're gonna find out what you do.
Good luck.
honestly, whatever it is, it's off the books. So I'm not sure if you can find it out.
Cash in hand. Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Ducking and diving. Hey, do you know
what
what's
you do to
cool?
survive.
Look at this. In this hotel room.
In the hotel
Wow.
room, you found it.
Yeah.
Fuck me there.
Did they
Yes.
did they leave it for you, or do you think it's the old guest? It's the guest before you.
No, it's the it's just part of the magazines. There's
Nice.
one. Yeah, there's a few like
No, because
shitters.
that's a good sign. You see how mainstream watches have gotten. It's like part of the whole luxury goods business now.
Yeah.
It's
Good
not
point,
going
man.
anywhere. It's not going
Yeah.
anywhere.
You're absolutely right. But yeah, no, it was just quite surprising.
And that is the latest issue. That is the latest issue.
Yeah. Oh no! Actually, you're wrong. You're wrong, man. This
No?
is old. This is April 2 years out of date.
Oh, really? I thought they did
Yeah.
something with Bulgari again. Okay, let
April
me see.
21. So this is just sat here then. But I'll have
That's
a
a
read of
shame.
it.
Oh no, the new one has Parmigiani's Chinese calendar watch on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the new one.
But like you say, that is a good sign because I've been to a lot of hotels and I don't think I've ever seen a watch magazine.
Yeah, this is the new one.
Nice. Did you see the coronation yesterday?
I did. What did you think? These are usually watershed moments. It doesn't happen many times over a lifetime.
Mate, I
It's
mean,
your first, right?
it's definitely my first. I'll probably get a second because obviously his age and William coming in. But
That's
most yeah.
that's a mean thing to say for some man's
Yeah,
first day on the throne.
But I said probably, and I'm also being realistic.
For sure.
So yeah,
That has
yeah.
gone.
I mean,
That has
I'm
gone
not.
through my mind as well. So you're right. You just
Yeah,
vocalized it. It's on everyone's mind.
I've not seen. I've not seen really anything because obviously I was traveling all day. But I will try and watch some sort of highlight video on YouTube. But yeah. I mean, I like the occasion. I'm not particularly a fan of him as an individual, but
Yeah.
I adore what is the royal family and all that comes with it. So,
But Jay,
yeah,
it is about that. I mean, look, I respect everyone, royalist, Republican,
yeah,
whatever. I don't have a problem. But the thing is, when it comes to these kinds of institutions, it's about the institution more than
yeah,
the man or woman who
yeah.
inhabits
The
it. So,
title, I respect the title and everything, the ceremony, and the whole procedure to even get to get to the coronation. I mean, we had that big ceremony months ago. So the coronation, as I understand it, is like effectively the party. He's the king, and now you coronate. You do the coronation. And
yeah,
I
look,
always remember my daughter. She used to watch Frozen,
yes.
Frozen the film.
Do
And
you wanna build a snowman?
they go, it's Coronation Day. It's Coronation Day. It doesn't really, it never really happens anymore. And for the first time, it's Coronation Day. It's a really big thing. So when it's the Coronation Day, I was like, oh, okay, we need to get excited. So
No, I mean, it's again, it was almost 3/4 century ago last time it happened, for United Kingdom. So it is big. It might happen again, like you said. The thing that looked most beautiful to me was where the kids of the Wales family. They were
yeah,
they looked so beautiful. They're all spitting images of their mom and dad. They just look like having fun in their own way, even though it must be very difficult to be a kid when you are in that kind of position. Yeah, it's just the ceremony of it. It kind of reminded me. I don't know if you watched this. Do you remember the Euro 96?
Was it Paul Gascoigne?
Oh no,
That
no,
was your.
not any of the scandals, but the 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 game against the Germans. When the whole stadium sang God Save the Queen. It was just like, the players almost, the guy who they tasked to sing wasn't, didn't even need to do anything. Wembley took care of
Yeah.
it. It's that kind of
Yeah.
moment, it
Wow.
seems.
Wow.
People inevitably get excited. It's, as you said, not a huge fan perhaps of the person, but it's about the pageantry, it's about the ceremony.
Yeah.
You can look at it as a whole circus. You can take it as seriously as possible. At any rate, it was fun to watch a lot of it, even though the time difference made me a little sleepy, but it was okay.
Yeah. And it's not like they, because there's thousands of people that are involved in organizing that, and it's not like they get, a dress rehearsal, because this doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. It's like you
Right.
say, 70 something years ago. So, I mean, they've smashed it. But yeah, I mean, it's great. It is overall great for the brand UK, brand come and visit London. I mean, it's tremendous marketing. So yeah, I'm all for it.
I saw in the pictures we were looking over now on Instagram, you were wearing the Reverso yesterday. Are you still gonna wear the Reverso, or are you bringing something else out for
No,
the tour?
I only bought the reverse. So I was going to bring the World Time, but no, I just bought the reverse. So
Nice. And I was wearing my Reverso today, right before I changed to the Archie watch.
Archie, nice.
Yeah.
Hey, check
Yeah.
these geese out, man. They're proper fucking vicious. Oh, sorry, mate.
Yeah,
So I got the strap in the end, but the blue version.
I have them both. I
Oh,
love the
do
blue as
you?
well. Yours is even more fitting, of course, with the blue dial, but just how it picks up the blue hands for me, that's enough. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Hey, check these geese out, man. They're proper vicious. Look
Let me
at
see.
Mate, you're vicious.
it. Look at it. Say, get on, you silly cunt.
Wait, it froze. Oh my god, they're eating Danny.
It
The
took his
geese are
camera.
eating Danny. Let's see.
Oh, you dopey bastard. Look at these
Oh,
geese. They're
nice.
proper vicious. Look how vicious it is, man.
She's protecting her babies.
It's fucking. I wouldn't know when it babies when it bit me when I was going past. Fucking
man.
idiots.
Have you ever seen one of those canal boats?
Like,
Yeah, look at them. Those canal boats.
Wow, what is that?
It's a liverboard. People live on them. Canal boats.
Nice.
So the water is not very deep, and
Mhm.
there's a canal system throughout the UK. A lot in the north, but yeah, they're just liverboards. People living on. Like Rosie and Jim. Do you remember Rosie and Jim?
Rosie and Jim having sex in a biscuit tin. Now I remember Rosie and Jim.
I don't remember actually, but
Rosie
is
and
that a
Jim.
UK
Rosie.
show?
Yeah, it's like a children's TV
Not
show.
there.
It's a narrow boat, a canal boat, narrow boat.
You've seen one, you've seen them all.
Is that an electric bike, Danny?
Yeah, man. I'm too lazy.
Can't believe it, man.
I don't like life being hard, so I'm trying to make it as easy as it can be.
Nice.
Right, I've got to go do something, so I'll talk to you all later.
Wait, what have you got to do at
All right.
6:07 in the morning?
Just
Sleep?
got to go take care of. Well, not yet. I ain't got time to do that yet. So I'll catch you all later.
Take us on a
Take care,
jog.
man. Thanks
Take us
for
on a-
thanks for jumping on.
All this. I see you in there. See you all later.
Take care, man.
Bye.
Bye. Man.
Cool. All right, mate. I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna get wrong side. Anyway, Good to see you, Lord. I'm gonna get on and
Take care, man.
gonna have
Nice
a shave
to see you.
and get
Nice
ready.
to see you, and thanks for jumping on, man. Don't be a stranger. If you
I
see
won't.
me live, just jump on once every so often.
Okay. Yeah. This is early. Like now in Malaga, it's 6 in the morning. But yeah, I will do. Good to see you, mate. This.
Likewise, man. Take care.
All right. Catch you later. Cheers, mate. Bye.
Bye. Take care, Jamie. Guys, hit the like button. Thanks, Jamie and Danny, for dropping by, and thank you, This, for bringing them along. Yeah, they've just left. Of course, Jamie has to get ready, apparently, shave, etc.
Yeah.
You know, keep that baby face going.
Gerber baby.
All right, it's another Kraftwerk shirt this time.
Wir fahren auf die Autobahn.
Not too far.
Huh?
In LA, not too far. You know, there's always a highway. How do you take your bagel? This?
Only with sesame.
Yeah, you don't put anything on it?
Nope.
No?
Lord,
Yes, sir.
I want to settle down, listen to some music, and I'll come back later, maybe, okay?
Of course. Take your time, and, you know, maybe if it's time to go out with Jamie, take care, but just chill, and you can always come back whenever you want.
Good show.
Take care. Love you, man.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Be good. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for dropping by. And everyone, please hit the like button. It really does help. Speaking of the jumbo, they actually have just 2 lots away at lot 346. A B series jumbo, a 5402 ST, so entirely executed in stainless steel with the classic deep blue, night blue dial. And as you can see, as I was saying before, there are the 4 series, each with 2000, and this is the second batch of 2000 watches in B series, and this is exactly number 1600 from the B series, and it has the old school dial again with petite tapisserie, so with the original more smaller, finer version of the pantograph drawn dial. And of course, it's a 2-hander, no second hand, based on that Jaeger-LeCoultre 920 ultra thin caliber, which remains to this day the thinnest self-winding caliber with a full rotor, as opposed to like a micro rotor or something. Of course, it has the date at 3 o'clock, the octagonal bezel, the hexagonal bolts that follow the along the cut of the crystal and the dial. And of course, the tapering interlinks that give the bracelet a conveyor belt-like look. Perhaps the perfect storm in terms of how elements of a fine, ultra-thin, elegant dress watch merge with something very contemporary, brutally modern. And this particular piece does come with a certificate of authenticity that was issued in 2019 from Le Brassus, sold in 1975, November 24th. So it's a Scorpio, right? That's still Scorpio. No. Oh my God. It misses Scorpio by 2 days. Too bad. Too bad. And this piece too has not yet received any bids at lot 346. The estimate is $89,000 to more than 133,000 in US dollars. $347, we have the mid-sized version of the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. These were something of the 90s. There's now the 37 millimeter version. These were 36. As you see, they have a centrally deployed second sand, of course, a self-winding movement. In a way, these were quite popular, and I think they were one with the time. In two-tone as well. 14790 was achieved after a number of steps, really, because there was the 4100 that was a reduced size before, around 35 millimeters. 14700 was a thing as well. That was a similar design to this, just with a thinner bezel. But in so many ways, 14790 was the definitive mid-sized Royal Oak of the neo-vintage era. It's certainly worth a look if you think, especially if it is somehow, if you think the jumbo is too big for you, or you're looking for something perhaps a little daintier, a little smaller for whatever reason. And this is the version of it, all in stainless steel, which has its own charm, with a tropical dial in 36 millimeters in case size, which, you know, appears considerably bigger on the wrist, to be honest, with the integrated bracelet design. In this case, once again, the piece has not yet attracted any bids, and the starting bid is right around 33,500 US dollars. At 348, we have a pink gold Audemars Piguet perpetual calendar with the equation of time. These are 42 millimeter cases, as you see, a little more butch, a little thicker. They have a similar depth on the dial, actually, that's slightly reminiscent of the Royal Oak Offshore rather than Royal Oak Pure and Simple. And actually on the chapter ring, they have the adjustments for equation of time. As you can see, they are usually dedicated to a particular city. I think they were strictly produced for cities that had a Audemars boutique at the time. Traditionally, with equation of time watches, you usually also have the time for sunrise and the time for sunset, which here is expressed in two smaller subdials that are framed by pink gold circles that take after the tones of the case. You have the month and the moon phase at 12 o'clock in a bigger subdial right next to it. If you are not seeing it right here, is the leap year indicator. The moon phase is ensconced right within that. And at 6 o'clock, you once again have the pointer dates and the day of the week doubling up with the day of the week expressed with an indicator in a concentric circle within that 6 o'clock subdial. And you can see this is an exhibition case back with a skeletonized rotor in pink gold as well, with the Gothic font for the initials of the two founding families. And of course, it has the inscription Royal Oak Équation du Temps. I should have said Royal Oak, because that's how the French say it for whatever reason. Don't ask me. This piece actually comes with its presentation box as well as the original booklets, the original product literature, which might actually come in handy because equation of time is not necessarily a complication that everyone is familiar with. This particular version, again, is the Royal Oak Equation of Time, München 26603 OR, pink gold perpetual calendar with leap year indicator, moon phase indicator, equation of time, sunset, sunrise from around 2011. The piece is being currently bid at around 44,600 in US dollars. That was lot 348. At 351, we have the Royal Oak Kasparov, which is the old school chronograph in a 39 millimeter case, built on the base of the Frédéric Piguet 1185 caliber, 3-register stainless steel, date between 4 and 5 o'clock, running seconds at 6, a 30-minute totalizer at 3, and the 12-hour counter at 9 with a triangle at 12 o'clock. All the indices, all the hour markers are loomed, and the chronograph registers are actually framed by circles that match the case tone. I think probably the inner circles are in white gold, of course, rather than stainless steel, but this is a stainless steel watch from around, my God, 20 years ago already. But these were quite popular in their own time when chess was cool. I think it's probably coming back, but yeah, Kasparov was a huge figure when I was growing up. There was the whole thing about him playing chess matches with the computer. There was a great publicity stunt at the time. And now what are we talking about with the AI and everything? So that's it's a It's interesting how the times have come. This is lot 351. The AP Royal Oak Kasparov self-winding chronograph 25860 ST in stainless steel, 3 registers with the dates from around 20 years ago. The estimate for the piece is 39,000 to 50,000 in US dollars. It has so far not attracted any bids. It's not looking good for auction houses in this particular round, I think. There are some great results, of course, with the ones that play their cards right, focus on small, big event, big time watches, good mix of very, very rare stuff with provenance, and then some hype watches thrown in, perhaps. That was basically the Monaco Legend Group's plan, their plan of action. They were selling Patrick Heiniger's personal Platinum Yachtmaster. They had that unique Patek Philippe Nautilus 3700 with the Omani Royal insignia, the Hanjar. And they did their publicity really well, and it was a special occasion. And they don't have, of course, 3, 4, or half a dozen or more auctions with umpteen number of watches they have to sell. So that was of course very different. 352 is another Royal Oak, another reduced size Royal Oak made for the World Cup. ASF. What is ASF? Oh, that is the Swiss. Okay, it's all right. Switzerland for the World Cup in US in 94. So they had these watches made, all in 18 karat yellow gold. You see, I mean, that kind of explains it, right? That was the 90s, going with the reduced size in gold rather than the 39 in stainless steel, and with the octagonal presentation box, which actually is the best one they did so far. I mean, the original Royal Oak jumbo boxes are very authentic, very industrial, but they also kind of look like the lid of a trash can, with all due respect. And I'm saying this as an absolute Royal Oak fanboy. But these 90s octagonal presentation boxes were really the bee's knees. So this 18 karat pink gold, 18 karat yellow gold, reduced size Royal Oak, 36 millimeter Royal Oak, made for the appearance of the Swiss team in the Football World Cup in 1994 in the US. Reference 14790, has an estimated value of 33,400 to more than 55,700 in US dollars. The starting bid right around 29,000 in US dollars. Lot number 352 has still not attracted any bids. But remember, this is an online auction. A lot of people are probably sitting tight, waiting for their moments to snipe the watches that they're looking for. But I'm sure one or two will fall through the cracks. They always do. And this seems to be an interesting opportunity. I mean, owning any watch like this and getting it at a decent deal is becoming increasingly harder, but especially when it comes to something like this, it can be really special. I mean, I've seen these days Tudor submariners given to Swiss water polo champions, attracting a certain kind of collector. So this will be certainly a piece of history. And if someone can grab it for around 30K, even after the 26% buyer's premium, that still is a decent deal for a full 18 karat yellow gold Royal Oak, even if it is quote unquote reduced size. Who did the Swiss have in their group in 1994 World Cup? They lost to Spain in the round of 16, so they did get out of the group, which they started by losing to Colombia. Then they beat Romania 4-1, tied US of A, and went into the second round, where they lost to Spain 3-0. Man, what a throwback. Goals were by Fernando Hierro, Luis Enrique, and Chiqui Begristein. And who scored the goals for Switzerland? In Romania, in the game against Romania, the Swiss goals were scored by Alain Suter, Stéphane Chapuisat, and Adrien Knoop. And the one against the US, it was Georges Pregui. I don't even know who that guy is, but God bless him. Maybe this is Georges Pregui's watch. Who knows? Interesting. 354 is another piece. Being from the late 90s, it has, of course, the dial with the bigger squares, bigger quote-unquote waffles. So the Grande Tapisserie dial. They used to oftentimes put the complications to even smaller sizes at AP when it comes to the Royal Oak. And of course, put the chronograph and the perpetual calendar into cases roughly of a similar size as the jumbo in 39 millimeter cases. So this is the dual time version of the Royal Oak. The reference number is 25730. Earlier pieces have more of a vintage styling, coming closer to 2000s aesthetically, even if the proportions are a little smaller. Their appearance starts resembling more contemporary pieces, as in here. It has everything to do with the changing of the logos and the patterns of the dial, of course. This particular piece has, at 6 o'clock, in the form of an oversized subdial, a reference time, or you can keep your home time there, a pointer date at around 2 o'clock, and then a power reserve, which is right around 9.5. It's a cool watch if you are interested into that particular function. Not too thick, as you can see, even though it's still thicker compared to a Royal Oak, which was in its time and much later, an ultra thin watch. That's how it's sold these days, since it's no longer jumbo, no longer the biggest watch they really have. This piece actually has a little bit of a, I think, steep price for what it is. These go for much cheaper, especially if you like the older styling a little more. Things get a little more expensive as you get closer to newer stuff, but this reference point is something to keep in mind. This reference number is something to keep in mind if you want reduced size Royal Oak that has some sort of complication, dual time right here. Of course, 25594 is the one they call the owl, right, with the day date and the moon phase at 6 o'clock, which has the owl-like look. In this case, this piece has not yet attracted any offers, and the starting bid stands right around 39,000 in US dollars. This was lot 354. If you have any questions about the watches here, if you want me to take a deeper look at any of the lots, please feel free to send in a super chat and I will take a closer look, do a horological and historical deep dive to any of the watches you would like. It can be something I skipped or I covered earlier. It can be something that I didn't get to yet. So feel free to send in whatever you like. 358 is an interesting one. It is the Terminator 3 watch. This was huge at the time. I don't know if you guys remember that scene at the beginning of Terminator 3 where Arnold finds it in the glove compartments, or rather the mirror of the car when he's looking for the key or something, and it falls down and he checks it, and you know, Terminator basically sets his time according to the Audemars Piguet watch, and then he lays it down and drives away. If you have listened to the CEO Benamias talk about it, talk about that occasion later on, apparently originally he was checking the time and just chucking it away, but the AP wasn't really fine with that particular approach. This has kind of like a triple guard on the crown and on the pushers. It's a chronograph in 48 millimeters in titanium. It's really crazy that AP has ever done a watch like this, but it was certainly the beginning of a new era. This is from around 2004. The Royal Oak Offshore Terminator 3 limited edition piece with the logo embossed on the case back of the watch. This is 25863 Ti. At lot 357, the Royal Oak Offshore Terminator 3 is currently being bid at right around 9,500 in US dollars. $359. This is an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Concept Flying Tourbillon GMT. I look at Royal Oak Concept as AP realizing that the 10% stake they have in Richard Mille is not enough, because whether you know it or not, it is AP's high complications workshop, APRP, that grow out of Renault et Papy and was integrated into Audemars Piguet, that basically makes Richard Mille watches. Their movements, at the very least, they're all devised and manufactured at APRP. I think AP realized at a certain point, hey, we gotta cash in more from this particular genre of the watch. It's not enough for us to just take 10%. So they got into the same business themselves and established a Royal Oak concept line, which I think is doing pretty well for them for a certain segment of the customer. Titanium and ceramic, right? Titanium case, ceramic bezel, pushers, and crown. You got the tourbillon and a second time zone that's digitally expressed, second hour that's digitally expressed through this disc. Yeah, speaking of gigantic pieces made by Audemars Piguet, this must be 44. Right, actually sounds manageable on paper. Not for me, certainly, but it is what it is. This is lot 359, one of the pieces that have not yet attracted any bids. The Royal Oak Concept Flying Tourbillon GMT. Flying tourbillon, by the way, means that there is no tourbillon bridge that sets it in place. It's harder to execute, but in a way, it brings out the aesthetic aspect of the tourbillon even more fully because you don't have any interruption as you are contemplating the revolution of it. That's what a flying tourbillon means. Titanium ceramic, open worked dual time zone tourbillon wristwatch with crown position and day and night indication. That was lot 359. The estimated price is somewhere between 133,700 to more than 200,000 in US dollars. At 361, we have one of my low-key favorite neo-vintage pieces by Audemars Piguet. This is the UTM chronograph in platinum. So you have the platinum case and this deep blue dial. The tachymeter is on the periphery of the dial. You have the date with the magnifier, the excessive branding, of course, Audemars Piguet engraved on that thick bezel, AP initial logo right next to the date window, and Audemars Piguet automatic right under it. This piece is also built on the base of the Frédéric Piguet 1185. And it has that perfectly round case with somewhat stubby lugs, right around 40 millimeters in diameter, and with a matching platinum buckle. The piece has a solid case back, a beautiful chronograph, very underrated. They existed, of course, in steel. They existed in various golds, various shades of golds. They also had a model, which I really like, that was tantalum with pink gold accents. Again, a great piece to have if you like the aesthetic and you're looking for something to wear and not to sell or offload just a couple of months down the line. This is lot 361, AP UTM platinum chronograph with the dark blue dial, reference 25644, with the starting bid not yet triggered at $13,370 US. Pardon me. At 362, we have the Jules Audemars tourbillon. As you guys might remember, I've showed a few of these of Royal Oaks that were executed in the same way, with the same tourbillon movement, and with the tourbillon cage modeled after the octagon. And here you have a similar situation, except again, it's resembling a round case. It's resembling the outlines of the Jules Audemars case. So it doesn't look like anything special, but it certainly is. Off-center dial for hours and minutes at around 12 o'clock, power reserve at 9, and a pointer date at 3 o'clock. And as you can see, or not see, there's no crown. There is, however, on the back of the watch, so-called backwinder. So both for the Royal Oak versions of this watch, as well as versions of it executed in other kinds of cases, they have chosen to forego traditional crown to preserve the visual balance of the watch from a full frontal view. And I think that's actually quite beautiful. And I do like this particular execution of the Jules Audemars case. Again, perfectly round with rather stubby teardrop style lugs. Really brings out the classic dress watch aesthetic of this particular piece, which is served up in a 39 millimeter yellow gold Jules Audemars case from 1988. This is just the naked watch. It does come with the matching 18 karat yellow gold buckle, but 362 with around, less than 9 days left to the conclusion of this online auction, has not yet attracted any bids. And the starting bid stands right around $44,600 US. Another very underrated AP model. This is the Edouard Piguet. It's their rectangular watch, kind of their Art Deco piece, you might say. These are on the secondary market, not necessarily right here. On the secondary market, you can find a lot of these pieces, especially in the perpetual calendar configuration, for incredible value, especially considering that you are getting an AP perpetual calendar. And in so many ways, in serial production, that's one of AP's specialties. They were the king of that in the 80s. This is a 90s watch with a beautifully curved rectangular case with teardrop lugs. And on the back, this might be a little pet peeve for some. It certainly is for me, but it's not something that's necessarily a deal breaker at the right price. A round movement in a rectangular case. At least they bothered to frame it properly with floral engravings, if you buy into it. But at any rate, this is a perpetual calendar movement by AP. In fact, the very same that you would get elsewhere, with a guilloche dial, Breguet numerals that alternate with baton indices, the full perpetual calendar with a leap year indicator and a moon phase indicator at 256. Here in pink gold, reference number is 25911 OR. And this is, again, one of those pieces that has not yet attracted any bids. And the starting bid stands right around 22,300 US dollars. I've seen them go for much cheaper on the secondary markets. I would highly recommend that you keep an eye out for Edward Piguet as a line. Their perpetual calendars by and large, and certainly this reference number, which is 25911 on the secondary markets. Same case with the tourbillon this time. You remember what I said about the flying tourbillon? As you can see, this is certainly not a flying tourbillon. This is the bridge. And you can see the entire cage, which has on its perimeter the second subdial, and on the pivot there's a second hand. You have the same dial design with the Breyer numerals, as well as that kind of sound wave like guilloche decoration. Feuille hands, very classic piece. Stepped flanks, curved rectangular case with teardrop lugs. Here you have a movement that's a little more properly shaped for this kind of case. Elliptical more so than rectangular, but I think it feels a little better. It fits more right. This is the Edward Piguet 25956 OR, a pink gold tourbillon wristwatch served up in a curved rectangular case by AP. At lot 364, the piece is yet to attract any bids with less than 9 days to go, and the starting bid is right around 26,750. Again, one of my favorites. This is the UTM perpetual calendar. I think I like the chronographs more, and they do present better value. But of course, there's always something quite balanced about a perpetual calendar with this 4 subdial layout. The moon phase is indicated in a little bit of a utilitarian fashion with a pointer indicator. Not that that should necessarily take away from it, but it does kill the romanticism a little bit. This being a perpetual calendar chronograph, it has the tachometer on the periphery of the dial. At 12 o'clock, framed in a pink gold ring, you have both the continuous running seconds and encircling it a pointer date. At 9 o'clock, you have actually in 3 concentric circles from inside out, you have the leap year indicator, a 30-minute totalizer, and finally a pointer for the months. And at 12 o'clock, you have the 12-hour counter with the day of the week encircling it. An opaline white dial with pink gold fixtures, with pink gold furniture and red accents. And a stepped bezel, which is engraved with the brand signature at 12 o'clock. You still have the brand initials on the moon of the moon phase at around 2 o'clock. As you see, this is very pristine from 1991 with the caseback sticker intact. Quite a unit, even though it is 40 millimeters in diameter. And again, it's not, it brings together both a perpetual calendar and chronograph. So very prestigious combination of two complications, but this particular watch is not about fineness. It's not about discretion necessarily. So it is quite thick. It wasn't meant to be a competitor to that refined approach that the Royal Oak represented. This piece has also not received any offers yet at lot 366. This is the AP UTM Perpetual Calendar Chronograph, reference 25695, 25695 OR, so pink gold perpetual calendar chronograph with moon phase and leap year indicators from 91. The starting bid is right around 26,750. At 367, these pieces are absolute gems, if you ask me. Ultra thin dress watches from AP, along with Vacheron Constantin, probably one of the most forgotten, if not necessarily God-forsaken parts of the markets. Oftentimes, these have the same JLC provenance self-winding calibers inside them, same or similar to what the Royal Oak has. This is an early 70s piece with the K2120 caliber, two-hander without dates, as you can see. This is a stainless steel piece in 34 millimeters. And as you see, a very thin piece in basically pristine condition. And a lovely silver dial with stick markers and pencil hands. This is lot number 367, AP 5273, 34 millimeter stainless steel self-winding dress watch, early 70s from AP. Pardon me, the starting bid stands right around 5,600 in US dollars. Again, these kinds of pieces are an absolute bargain whenever they crop up on the secondary markets. Usually they are not in this kind of condition. So if this is something you like, it might be something worth staying in front of your computers when the auction is ending on May 15th, which is going to be Monday. So might be something to chase down then. As you can see, this is 371, a time-only version of the Edouard Piguet. This is much more perfectly rectangular. As you can see, a very nicely faceted construction with angular lugs. You do get a beautiful white dial with Breguet numerals. And heat tempered hands. kind of in the style of cathedral hands, or maybe rather diamond shaped small seconds at 6, which are laid out in a railroad track. Same thing with the minutes. Again, in a pretty decent condition. You can still see the hallmarks as well as the case number on the back. And 371 also has not yet garnered any bids, and the starting bid is right around 5,600 in US dollars. A lot of interesting AP pieces. If you're just tuning in, I'm covering the Important Watches Part 2 online auction by Sotheby's Geneva. And this is an online only auction that is going to end on May 15th. It is based in Geneva, so set your time, and it is going to fall on a Monday. So you got to take a note of what lots you are interested in, especially those that have not yet received any bids and that you might want to try to snipe down at the last few minutes. At lot 378, you have a pink gold Hunter case AP pocket watch in 47 millimeters, white dial with Roman numerals and heat blued hands. It's actually from 1990 and seems to be largely in a pristine condition. And the no reserve seems to have worked since this piece started bidding at 1 franc, and now it is being bid at 1,560 in US dollars with a little less than 9 days to go. This 47 millimeter Hunter style pink gold pocket watch from early 90s by Audemars Piguet. At 382, we have a Harry Winston bi-retrograde perpetual calendar piece. This is roughly 37.5. A lot of the Harry Winston watches have elements that take after the facade of the New York flagship location of the jeweler. This piece has the moon phase at 6 o'clock, which has a lapis lazuli or lapis lazuli background in the style of Gérald Jantin and Cartier. You have the month at 12 o'clock and a leap year indicator in Romans. You have the day of the week with the retrograde gear exposed at 9 o'clock, and at 3 o'clock you have the date, day of the week at 9 o'clock, the date at 11, and they are in two different directions. So the day of the week snaps back upwards to Monday at the beginning of the week, whereas the date snaps back to 1 in the downward direction. This is a 37.5 yellow gold case that shows some signs of oxidization. which, depending on your taste, might make it look unseemly or warm. You have an exhibition case back that shows the off-center rotor and the perpetual calendar mechanism, and the presentation box, as well as the product literature. This is lot 382, and it is currently being bid at $8,915 in US dollars. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it, Thomas? It's again, I sometimes rage against open worked dials. In this case, it's not overdone. It shows off the retrograde mechanism, which is something relatively unique. I like the fact that they put the retrograde mechanisms in opposite directions, so there's something else about a very balanced style that is slightly askew in a sense, right? Slightly disordered in all that organization. It's certainly a very charming watch, and for the right price, again, could be a great addition to someone's collection, especially if you are into dress watches, especially if you are interested in traditional prestige complications expressed in different ways and exercised by not your average brand. $383 is another Harry Winston. This is a piece they call the Midnight. As you can see, even though this piece has a much more traditional round case, the elements of the facade are still reflected right around the crown, right by the crown. And the open working of the micro rotor caliber looks like a spider web slash a crescent in terms of how the gear train is laid out. So it's kind of cool, especially with the skeletonized bridges from the back. I like it, honestly. Again, it's open worked. Micro rotor calibers don't really come across every day. This is a 42 millimeter pink gold case. Lot 383 is a Harry Winston Midnight, reference 450-MAS 42R from around 2015. The piece has not yet attracted any bids, and the starting bid is right around $8,900 US dollars. $384, the same Midnight case as a GMT tourbillon. This is 45 millimeters, however, and in white gold. You have an off-center dial that's placed right by the crown for the hours and minutes. That's the primary dial, which has radial guilloche in the middle, kind of in the style of a chronograph subdial. At around 7 o'clock, you have the tourbillon, which has a seconds hand on its pivot, so it does serve as an oversized second subdial. There's a second time zone, reference time, etc., and you can also set the destination from using the pushers to cycle through the cities. There's a separate pusher to jump the hand. So the smaller dial is for reference time. The bigger dial at 3 is the travel time usually, although obviously you can set it up in any which way you like. At 45 millimeters, I think it's a little too large for me as a case. And you see it's quite a creature, to be honest. It's quite a critter at 45 millimeters, and with this sort of thickness, as you can see from the case profile, it does bring together tourbillon and GMT, but still for me it's a little too large for its own good. This is lot 384, which has failed to attract any bids. This is the Harry Winston Midnight GMT Tourbillon in a limited edition 45 millimeter white gold case. Pardon me. And the starting bid is right over 16,700 in US dollars. Please hit the like button while you're at it. It really does help in giving me just a little bit more exposure. At 386, we have yet another interesting example of the Harry Winston watches. This is kind of a smaller sized dive watch chronograph hybrid, a rotational bezel for 60 minutes, kind of a dive timer. You have sword hands that are loomed, a blue dial that is matched with the strap, which is styled more after the seat of a vintage sports car than a dive strap for in rubber for a dive watch. It's a platinum case in 36.5 millimeters. All the loom seems to have expired since the watch is from mid 90s, and there's also a date at 6 o'clock, in addition to a 30-minute totalizer at 3 and a 12-hour counter at 9. The continuous running seconds are, of course, at 6. A very interesting piece, platinum diver. This seems like a very Harry Winston thing to do. You know, in case you didn't know, my white metal watch was platinum. I had it engraved on the case flank. Still a cool piece from mid-90s at lot 386. This is the Harry Winston Ocean, a platinum dive watch chronograph with the date at 6 o'clock. This piece has not yet attracted any bids, and this starting bid is right around 6,700 in US dollars. A solid case back, 10 Atmos, 100 meters of depth rating, and it comes with a Harry Winston presentation case in blue. I don't necessarily know if that belonged to the model, but it's nice to have. At 388, there is more of a muscular version of the dive watch. This is the 44 millimeter case that we were just looking at as well. platinum xalium mix. Rotational timing bezel, and it is also a chronograph with a 12-hour counter at 6, which also has the date, and a 30-minute totalizer at 9. Solid case back. And I believe it doesn't say how many. It's number 35 out of 200. This is the Z2 chronograph Ocean Diver by Harry Winston in a 44 millimeter case, which combines xalium and platinum, and a dive watch and a chronograph. That is lot 388, which started at 1 franc, was offered without reserve. It is currently being bid at 4,457 US dollars. At 392, we have a pink gold Chopard watch with a tonneau shaped case. This is a perpetual calendar with an open worked dial, kind of a sapphire see-through situation that gives you a peek into the dial and a retrograde date hand as well. Again, it's to me, it's a little bit of an unseemly situation where you have this sort of unique tonneau-shaped tortue derivative case, a very unique case shape, and you are essentially throwing into it round movements. Why do that? Why not just use a round watch? But it's exactly what they did. There's a moon phase indicator at 6. At 3 o'clock, you have the month and the leap year within that. At 9 o'clock, you have the day of the week and a 24-hour hand day-night indicator within that. And in the form of a fan-like scale in the upper half of the dial, you have the date, which snaps back since it is retrograde at the beginning of the month. And all of these hands are beautifully heat blued with the hours and minutes hands in very elegant feuille shape. Very nice proportions on this 36.5 millimeter case. That is the diameter. And you see it is a round movement with a full rotor, which is itself skeletonized and bears the signature of the brand. Number 1 out of a limited edition of 50 for this LUC Chopard tonneau cased, open worked perpetual calendar watch with a retrograde date in pink gold from the 1950s. One of the pieces that started without reserve and is being very enthusiastically bid at right now at lot 392, with the bid currently standing at around 12,258 US dollars. Respectos, amigo. You see how beautiful that case is. It feels a little bit of a shame, especially with that sort of execution. I mean, this is LUC Chopard in their tonneau shaped case, in their case that is very much styled after the Cartier Tortue. Let's not mince any words here. There's a date window at 6, small seconds right above it, rosette pattern guilloche center dial. These sparehead chevron styled hour markers, Dauphine hands, and the tonneau shaped case with a stepped bezel. It's a beautiful case design, if you ask me. I could do without the date, but that's just my nitpicking as always. Slightly curved, especially at those angular lugs. And you see you have a beautifully shaped, properly formed micro rotor caliber that is slotted right in there. It's a beautiful piece. From around 2005, this piece is currently being bid at lot number 393 at around 2,452 US dollars. $395, we have a very lovely classically designed Gérard Perregaux chronograph with a little bit of an oversized case at 40 millimeter. I'm saying oversized because of the size of the movement, really more than anything. As you can see, from the way they framed the case back, that is a rather small movement for that 40 millimeter case. But that being said, and by the way, just to help you train your eyes, you can already see it from the dial, right? Look at the center of the dial. That looks positively overwhelmed by that wide tachometer scale on the periphery of the dial, right? They really tried their best to fill up the space on the face of that watch because they wanted to end up with a 40 millimeter case. And they were just not going to design a new movement for that. So these are the kinds of shortcuts that brands take. And it's one thing to see Gérard Perregaux do it, which is also a legacy brand, so they shouldn't either. But even brands like Patek do this increasingly, and it is, if you're a purist like me, it's extremely disappointing. But it does happen with increasing frequency. This piece has stick markers with oversized Arabic numerals at 12 and 6, and a continuous running second set and 9, a 30-minute totalizer at 3, centrally deployed chronograph seconds hand. All these chronograph hands are heat blued, whereas you have a set of hands for hour and minutes, which are styled in to look like leaves in the feuille style, self-winding caliber, pink gold 1966 chronograph with the silver dial, Arabic numerals, and tachymeter. The piece is currently being bid at lot 395, right around 6,686 US dollars. At 396, we have a double crown Gérard Perregaux World Time Traveler piece. This is a limited edition from early 2000s, from the first decade of the 2000s. 41 millimeter in stainless steel. You have a second crown at 9 o'clock to manipulate, to cycle through the cities on the 24-hour ring. You can see on this limited edition, you have Switzerland, the name of the country, in red for one of the time zones rather than Geneva or Paris. You also have, let's see if we have anything interesting. No, not really any unusual locations on the dial. Karachi, Dhaka, Bangkok, Caracas, Rio de Janeiro, fully spelled out. Very interesting piece. Cairo right above, Switzerland, between Moscow and Switzerland. This is the World Timer Traveler by Gérard Perregaux. You have, of course, the day-night indicator, 24-hour ring surrounding the center of the dial, a power reserve indicator at around 4 or 5 o'clock, and a small seconds at 9 as well. The fattened leaf hands are generously filled with loom, and so are the hour markers, except, of course, for the Arabic numerals at 12, 3, and 6 o'clock. This piece is lot number 396, the Gérard Perregaux World Timer Traveler, reference 49851, limited edition in stainless steel from around 2003. The piece is currently being bid at right around 3,343 in US dollars. Dropping the link for the auction again, the Sotheby's Important Watches 2 online exclusive auction. If you want me to take a closer look at any particular pieces here, please feel free. Send the number in with a super chat, and I will be more than happy to dive right into it with some rich historical and horological detail. This is number 397. We have looked at a lot of interesting tonneau-shaped cases today. This is Gérard Perregaux's Richeville, which is their version, 34 by 45. So not too large, not too small. What you have is a perpetual calendar. You have a railroad track for the seconds on the perimeter of the dial, Breguet numerals for the indices, Breguet hands, which are heat glued, just like the second hand. A very lovely moon phase at 6 o'clock, pointer date at 3, day of the week at 9, and at 12 o'clock, you have both the leap year indicator and around it a month indicator as well. This is a piece in white gold, a perpetual calendar from late 90s by Gérard Perregaux in their tonneau-shaped Richeville case. This is lot 397. The piece actually comes with apparently a photocopy of their certificate of authenticity, as well as the presentation case and the outer packaging. Lot number 397 has been bid at currently at in excess of $5,000 with less than 9 days left. 398 is a beautiful integrated bracelet Piaget dress watch with 31.5 millimeter integrated uh, round white gold case with an integrated bracelet that resembles lizard skin. I will come right back to it after a short break for me. I'll be right back. In the meantime, feel free to write in the chat, send in questions. If you want to join the panel, I will let you write in when I come back. You can always click the link that is pinned. I have about 2 more hours to go, probably, and your company would most certainly be appreciated. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. We have this beautiful Piaget dress watch in a 31.5 millimeter, perfectly round white gold case. Dauphine hands, a completely unadorned dial, except for the Piaget signature and a Swiss mark at 6, because they wanted to let you soak in and let you take in the beauty of that lapis lazuli dial. As you can see, this is a very thin and elegant piece. A really beautiful dress watch in an ultra pristine condition. You can see how crisp the case and reference numbers are on the back in terms of the engraving and the hallmark, of course, that you can see there. This is a Piaget reference 9643B18, a white gold integrated bracelet dress watch with a lapis lazuli dial from early 1970s. At lot 398, the starting bid is right around 6,700, but the piece, with less than 9 days to go for the conclusion of the auction, has not yet received any bids. At lot 402, we have a Piaget Emperador. This is kind of like a 46 millimeter, kind of an oversized Piaget polo case. I don't mean the vintage Piaget polo, which was a watch full of character and a completely different design. The more modern design of the polo that is sort of like a kind of a square dial, mostly square dial in a round case. This is exactly what the design of the Emperador is, just a larger case, basically a square like dial, a round case or round bezel, and then like a tonneau shaped case, but with very stubby lugs. This is a limited edition in pink gold, a perpetual calendar watch with leap year and 24-hour indication. You do have actually 2 retrograde hands for the day of the week and the date. You have the month, leap year, continuous running seconds, and right here you have actually a second dial with both day-night indication and 12-hour register in and of itself with minutes and hour hands. You can take a peek onto the movement, which doesn't look extremely impressive, but is nevertheless nicely decorated in a non-presumptive manner, in an unassuming manner. Lot 402, which is a limited edition Piaget Emperador perpetual calendar piece in a 46 millimeter pink gold case from a couple of years ago. The piece is currently being bid at $13,372, a little more perhaps at lot 402. At 403, we have ultimately a classic by Piaget, their Altiplano with the self-winding micro rotor caliber, with a micro rotor in full gold. This is kind of their bread and butter. A beautiful white gold case at 42 millimeters of diameter. Thickness of the case is around 5.25, I think. As you can see, it's a very thin case with angular lugs, which would allow the watch really to sit perfectly on a table as well. This piece has a starting bid of $6,700 USD. Piaget Altiplano in white gold at lot 403. Beautiful silver dial with off-center small seconds between 4 and 5 o'clock. Lot 405 is an IWC perpetual calendar in platinum. Relatively unusual because we are more used, I think, to see perpetual calendars either in the Da Vinci case with those hooded lugs, a very iconic shape in its own right, or the Portuguesa, the oversized version. Romana is a more traditionally round watch. This is from around the turn of the millennium, around 2000, 36 millimeter platinum case, perfectly balanced dial with 4 subdials, Roman numerals on a silvered dial, moon phase at 12 o'clock, German calendar with the month at 6 o'clock, day of the week at 9 o'clock, and a pointer date at 3. And between 7 and 8 o'clock, you actually have a 2-digit expression of the year as well, which cannot hurt. A 36 millimeter platinum perpetual calendar by IWC. The case shape is called Romana, almost perfectly round with slightly extended lugs and a rather thick or wide bezel, I should say. This is lot 405, and it is currently being bid at right around 6,700 in US dollars. Speaking of which, we have at 407 an IWC Da Vinci perpetual calendar chronograph. This is the Kurt Klaus invention. So was the other perpetual calendar, by the way, but this is the original one that was built on the base of a Valjoux 7750 chronograph. So what you have here is the Da Vinci perpetual calendar chronograph, the round case with the stepped bezel, hooded lugs, with a perfectly balanced 4 subdial layout. You have baton for the hour markers, pencil hands, 30-minute totalizer at 12 o'clock with the moon phase launched right in it. This is an Italian calendar with the month at 6 o'clock. There's a 12-hour counter in the form of a sector dial lodged right in there, 4-digit expression of the date between 7 and 8 o'clock. You have the continuous running seconds at 9 o'clock with the day of the week encircling it. And finally, you have at 3 o'clock both a pointer date and a 30-minute totalizer for the chronograph. All the chronograph hands, including the centrally deployed seconds hand, as well as I'm sorry, I don't know why I repeated that. So we had the 30-minute totalizer at 12 o'clock. At 3, we just have a pointer date. It's just divided into 2 circles where you have the even numbers inside and the odd numbers in the outer circle. My apologies. The chronograph hands are all heat blued with a circular counterweight for the centrally deployed chronograph seconds hand, which shows 1/5 of a second on the track. This is a 39 millimeter yellow gold case from early 90s at lot number 407. The piece has not yet received any offers, but the starting bid is right over 6,100 in US dollars. There are a few examples of the Da Vinci Perpetual Calendar Chronograph. 408 is an example from late 90s in stainless steel. Comes with its box and papers. Let's take a look. Stainless steel with the black dial. The layout is the same with the 4 digits indicator for the year. Quite a unit on the wrist. Relatively decent fit though, always, both thanks to the traditional proportions of the diameter, but also the hooded lugs, which of course are completely adjusting. Here is the set with a briefcase-like presentation box. The replacement digits for the 4-digit expression of the date in case, well, if and when the watch makes it to the next century, even if you might not. I know that I won't. This is the IWC Da Vinci Perpetual Calendar Chronograph in stainless steel, reference 3750 at lot 408. The piece has not yet attracted any bids, but the starting bid is right over 5,500 US dollars. At 410, we have the white gold version of the same piece. This one has a white dial. Everything else remains the same. The piece itself is from mid-90s. It does come with its box and papers. The Da Vinci reference 3750 in white gold. The Perpetual Calendar Chronograph from IWC from mid-90s. The piece has not yet received any bids, but the starting bid should be right around 11,150 in US dollars. Hey, ABC, how are you doing, man? Nice to see you. At 412, we have a regulator dial, IWC Portuguesa. This is 43 millimeters. As you guys know, the Portuguesa is an oversized watch. It was particularly oversized when it first came out. Still, in so many ways, for its traditional styling, for its regular status as a dress watch, it is still quite sizable. This is a 43 millimeter white gold case with a black dial. Regulator clocks were the centerpieces of watchmakers, repair workshops, and they were, with their particular precision, the reference point to set the time on each and every single clock or watch that passed through these places. They helped synchronize everything. They served a similar function in railway stations, for example, in this country. And there, of course, it was a vital matter, quite literally, since the synchronization of pocket watches that belonged to the conductors were key to avoiding accidents. This piece has a centrally deployed minute hand, which has the sole focus at the center of the dial, an hour hand at 12 o'clock, and a small seconds subdial at 6. The IWC régulateur in the Portuguese case, reference 544404 in a 43 millimeter white gold case. The piece at lot 412 is currently being bid at right around 4,250 in US dollars. At 414, we have a 43.5 millimeter platinum Portuguese, which is a minute repeater, a pearled minute track, Arabic numerals on a silver dial, which is really like two-tone because the small second subdial is in a slightly darker shade of gray, or rather that is in gray, whereas the rest of the dial is in silver at 9 o'clock. And you have also the slider right there because this watch is a minute repeater. As you can see, quite a hefty presence on the wrist. And there you go. You have the hand mount minute repeater that you can see from the case back. This is the IWC Portuguese minute repeater from around 2000, reference 5240, which is currently being bid at right around 14,500 in US dollars. At 415, we have the IWC Portuguese perpetual calendar in 44.5 millimeter yellow gold case. This piece has a number of nifty additions to the regular dial. So you have a minute track that's laid out in gold beads that are larger every 5th minute. At 12 o'clock, you have the moon phase, but it actually shows both the north and the south. So the moon phase from the northern hemisphere as well as the southern. German calendar with the month at 6 o'clock. Day of the week at 9 o'clock, which encircles the continuous running seconds. The pointer date at 3 o'clock, which encircles the power reserve. And of course, you have the 4-digit expression of the year between 7 and 8 o'clock as well. Beautiful silvered dial. Through the exhibition case back, you can see the self-winding movement. At lot 415, this Portuguese perpetual calendar in yellow gold from early 2000s with the double moon phase. I always want to call these watches Tatooine, but that will expose me even as being geekier and dorkier than I usually am, so I should really keep it to myself. From early 2000s, a very cool piece even if it's slightly oversized for my taste. But it is really a different expression to a lot of perpetual calendar watches, especially in its time, especially in early 2000s. The Portuguese, with these sorts of complications, was really in its own league in so many ways. So it's something to be appreciated. This piece is currently being bid at more than 10,500 in US dollars. That was lot 415. At 418, we have a mid-century 35 millimeter pilot watch from IWC, a Mark 11 from the initial series of 65 watches that were supplied to BOAC, which is British Overseas Airways Corporation. Nice piece that has the issue numbers on the back. Lovely pilot's watch in IWC's style with an oversized crown and that abbreviated hour hand from what is otherwise a classic syringe handset. This is lot 418 for a watch that started without reserve at 1 franc. It is currently being bid at 1,560 US dollars. At 419, we have a Mark 10 from right around 1945. This is actually a stainless steel piece issued to the British Army, a 35 millimeter with a caliber 80. Hand wound movement with the broad arrow sign right under the IWC logo, Arabic numerals on the dial, and an oversized seconds subdial at 6. This is the IWC Mark 10, stainless steel in 35 millimeters, issued to the British Army in 1945, and it actually does come with a certificate that specifies the watch. The triple W on the back actually certifies it as waterproof wristwatch made out of stainless steel. And the movement is laid out here too. And the date of delivery was February 21st, 1945. A similar piece from the same time period, again supplied to the British Army. As you can see, it is similarly engraved on the back, triple W, the broad arrow, and the issue number. This piece too comes with a certificate delivered on the same day too. Very interesting. One would love to know the story behind this pair of watches. Another Mark 10 in stainless steel in a 35 millimeter case. Hand wound movement, caliber 83, delivered in the last week of February in 1945 to the British Army. Lot 420 is being bid at around $1,900. We're approaching the last hour, so please hit the like button to express your support. It really does help. For a small channel like this, the few likes that I get really put things to the next level, really makes a difference. So please hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Lot 421 is Mark 12, 36 millimeter in 18 karat yellow gold with a black dial, luminous indices at the quarters, which complement the Arabic numerals. Of course, the iconic triangle at 12 o'clock. And in this case, there's also a date at 3 o'clock, and there's sweep seconds for this self-winding Mark 12 by IWC. It's a classic no-nonsense time and date pilot's watch by IWC at lot 421, which is being bid at around 2,900 in US dollars. Again, if you would like me to take a deeper look at any of these watches, the ones I skipped over, the ones perhaps I covered earlier and you didn't get to listen to, and also the ones that I didn't yet get to, feel free to send in a super chat. I would be more than happy to dive deeper into some of those watches or go back again. 422 is a Mark 10 that was actually supplied to the British Army. It's a 35 millimeter stainless steel case. As you can see from the strap, this is a piece that has fixed lugs. Looks quite handsome on a leather NATO strap. It's from late 50s with a black dial, oversized subdial for the seconds, syringe hands, railroad track for the minutes, and Arabic numerals for the hour markers. This is an IWC Mark 10 from late 50s, made for and supplied to the British Army at 422. It is currently being bid at around 3,350 in US dollars. At 423, we have a piece from early 50s that is made for the Royal Air Force. This is an IWC Mark 11. This is one of my favorites. As you can see, the piece has a domed bezel, an oversized crown, broad arrow at 12, and the circle T at 6, which testify to the military provenance of the piece. International Watch Co. with the luminous material at the quarters and the triangle at 12, with the syringe hand, with the hour hand abbreviated, centrally deployed seconds hand. This is actually an caliber 89 hand wound movement. The case back carries both the markings of the Royal Air Force and the traditional broad arrow, which is everywhere to be found on British mil-spec pieces. The piece comes with a certificate that specifies its date of delivery with the year 1952. At 425, we have a Breguet Type 20 from late 90s. The Aéronaval, so pure and simple, big eye, with its appropriate presentation box, as well as its papers. The presentation box is always very beautiful. That is styled after the cross, like a cross section from the wing of a plane. These are the earlier examples that have these gilt accents. This particular piece is actually executed in 18 karat yellow gold, but it's been so thoroughly oxidized that it almost looks pink, which makes me love it even more. The tritium luminous material on the dial has very evenly and beautifully patinated into this eggshell / yellow kind of patina. The hands may have been changed. I'm not sure. Oh, wait. It does say yellow gold here, but in the further details, it specifies as pink. And that should be right because it does really look like pink. It has the blue dial, by the way, which people really chase after in the form of that Japanese limited edition when it comes to the stainless steel version. So this could be an interesting alternative for that. At lot 425, the pink gold Breguet Type 20 Aéronaval reference 3800. The flyback chronograph here with the blue dial from the late 90s. This is a piece at lot 425 being bid at almost 6,700 in US dollars. At lot 427, we have a white gold Breguet dress watch that is fairly modern from last year in 40 millimeters. Now, I really do love Breguet, but in this case, I have to protest a little bit because for this case style, 40 millimeter is way too big. With that perfectly round case and the extended lugs, it really doesn't wear like a dress watch anymore. So they have to scale it back at a certain point. But the watch otherwise carries all the markings, all the trappings of a Breguet dress watch, that perfectly round case, extended lugs. In this case, it's white gold. The entire case band is very finely fluted. The lugs have that beautiful teardrop shape. There are various different patterns on the hand guilloche on the dial with the basket weave within the pointer date at 6 o'clock, with this sort of finer finish that looks like a basket weave in the power reserve and center of the dial, as well as the clouds in the moon phase are in the Claude Paris or hobnail finish. There's an aventurine background for the moon phase, which is itself hand engraved to look kind of like realistic. The dial is actually blue, and as always, produced from a gold blank. Roman numerals laid on a Breguet frosted hour track, and you have white gold Breguet hands for the hours and minutes. This is Breguet Classique 7137 BB 40 millimeter white gold dress watch from Breguet. Self-winding movement with an off-center rotor on the back, which is itself in 18 carats white gold and with a barley corn guilloche decoration on it. The piece comes with its full set of accessories, and it is at lot 427 from 2022. This Breguet dress watch failed to attract any bids so far, but the starting bid is at 16,715. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. I'm here with watch content every day, and it's not limited to just live streams. Feel free to check out the other contents, like the videos, and send me some comments. I really appreciate it. At 428, we have an example from the previous generation of the Marine, which both pays homage to Breguet's past as the main horologist for the Royal Navy, as well making marine chronometers for them. And the Marine also serves, of course, as kind of the luxury sports watch by Breguet. I think the previous generation was perhaps a little more interesting to me. I still prefer the beautiful wave motif on the hand guilloche dial in the newer versions, but these pieces are nothing to sneeze at. With the big date, two window guichet style oversized date at 6 o'clock. You have that vortex like guilloche decoration at the center of the dial. Pardon me, applied Roman numerals for the hour track in blue, and heat blued hands for hour, minutes, and seconds. The hour and minute hands are actually filled with loom, preserving still the palm apple-shaped Breguet style. And they're also diamond lozenge-shaped pips of loom for the hour markers as well. This is the version with the silvered / white dial, stainless steel case in 40 millimeters diameter, officer style lugs that are very angular. This piece has a nice rubber band that sits mostly flush at the case. The crown guards are styled as a propeller to fit with the nautical theme. And as you can see through the exhibition case back, the rotor itself, which is executed in full gold, is styled after the same pattern at the center of the dial, but it has more of a wave-like appearance. This is the reference 5817 in stainless steel. It comes with its box and papers. It is a white dial version of the Marine. At lot 428, the piece is currently being bid at right over 8,900 in US dollars. Hey JB, how are you doing, man? Nice to see you. Let me know if you would like to look at something. I just sent in the link, but oh, it's not proper, sorry. Let me see. I don't know why it keeps reverting back to that. Right. Here is the proper link. And I am at page 6, I believe. Yeah. We were just looking at the Breguet Marine with the opaline white silvered dial in a stainless steel case, reference 5817, which is currently being bid at 8,000 Swiss francs, which converted to the US dollars, that's a little more than 8,900 in US dollars. At 429, we have a old school Ferrari chronograph. This is so precious, so beautiful. 32.5 millimeter yellow gold case. This is a piece made by Lemania, but branded Ferrari with the signature tachymeter on the periphery of the dial, which is painted in blue over the silver dial. You have arrow markers alternating with Arabic numerals for the hours and gold hands, alpha hands for hour and minutes. It's a beautiful watch. Anti-shock and anti-magnetic for its time. Very classically styled. 2-register yellow gold chronograph. Small gentleman's chronograph from 50s with its proper presentation case. Very cool watch, which apparently was a personal gift from Enzo Ferrari to Paul von Guillaume, who was an internationally renowned long-distance race driver in the 1930s to 50s. At lot 429, this is a piece that has not yet attracted any bids with less than 9 days to go. It is exactly the kind of piece that you might want to sit tight and wait to snipe down in the last few hours. The auction ends, and it is an online exclusive, on Monday, the 15th. So not next Monday, but Monday in the week after the next. The piece has a starting bid right around 3,350 in US dollars. At 430, by the way, that was this is another Lemania at 430 in a 32.5 14 karat yellow gold case. The dial has so heavily oxidized, but it's so even and such a beautiful copper-like color. I don't really have many bad things to say. This is a 3-register chronograph built on the CH27 base, which should be familiar to us. not only from the Moonwatch caliber Omega 321, but also from the basis of generations of Patek perpetual calendars, such as the 3970 and 5970 perpetual calendar chronographs. But this is number 430, an old school chronograph that has a little bit of a sporty edge in it, even though its dimensions are very classic at around 33 millimeters, heavily oxidized case in 14 karat yellow gold, and a dial that has turned copper with oversized Arabic numerals alternating with gold beads, 3 registers with an added 12-hour counter at 6 o'clock. This piece at lot 430 has also failed to attract any bids thus far, but it is very interesting and has a starting bid at around 5,600 in US dollars. Thank you, JB. $9.99, lot 365. Big muscles, big watches. Let's see. Yeah, let's take a look. .365 is a 48 millimeter Jules Audemars chronograph. This is the double X 6-day Arnold Schwarzenegger reference 25949 IP. Which left the manufacturer in 2000, 125th anniversary of Audemars Piguet. Comes with its certificate of origin and warranty, bought from Westtime in Los Angeles once upon a time. A limited edition of 50 pieces. Nice presentation box with an added strap that looks like alligator or maybe even ostrich leg. It's very, very hard to tell. I believe it's just, very small scale alligator. I think it's just a small scale alligator, to be honest, but I might be mistaken. This is a 2-register chronograph, I believe in titanium with a domed platinum bezel with broad feuille hands that are loomed, large Arabic numerals, as well as an AP logo, which is also loomed against the white dial. Panda look with the black chronograph registers, 30-minute totalizer at 9, and a continuous running seconds at 3 o'clock for this chronograph, a limited edition piece from around 2000, made in a special edition for Arnold Schwarzenegger, friend of the channel, 25949 IP. It's come on, it's a watch for a man, for a stud who likes to smoke some cigars after dinner. Yeah, this is one of those outrageously large watches that AP did once upon a time. Maybe they will go back to it. It is, after all, the 30th anniversary of the Royal Oak offshore. They have just reissued the End of Days in a special edition as well. Who knows what might be there in the pipelines? In the pipeline, I meant. At 4:39, since we were talking about Arnold watches, he likes wearing his Panerai as well, even though people usually associate the Panerai with Sly. This is a limited edition chronograph by Panerai. It's a Radiomir with a 42 millimeter pink gold case and a sort of military green, khaki green dial. The piece seems to be in a basically untouched condition, comes with its box and papers from around 2011 with continuous running seconds at 6 and a 30-minute totalizer at 3, oversized Arabic numerals at 12 and 6 in the traditional cushion-shaped case that reminds us of those early Rolex Oyster waterproof cases that were supplied at their inception to Officine Panerai to end up on the wrists of the Italian frogman. This is lot 439 for a Radiomir chronograph reference PAM 00377, limited edition pink gold chronograph in 42 millimeters. This piece is being currently bid at 7,800 in US dollars. At lot 440, we have a 44 millimeter stainless steel limited edition of the Radiomir. The piece has a tachymeter on the chapter ring, that Radiomir aesthetic with the oversized Arabic numerals at 12 and 6. Continuous running seconds at 9 o'clock. 3 o'clock is where we have the 30-minute totalizer and a large crown with a lovely grip. This is the Panerai Radiomir chronograph PAM 00288 limited edition in a 45 millimeter stainless steel case. The piece does come, pardon me, with its box and papers. And it was listed at with no reserve at lot 440. And it is currently being bid at more than 2,675 in US dollars, with a little less than 9 days to go. Please hit the like button if you haven't. It really makes a big difference. Really appreciate you. At 441, we have another Ferrari chronograph, this time made by Panerai from around 2006 in a 45 millimeter case with a kind of hobnail style grip on both the pushers and the chronograph, the crown. You have yellow accents on the dial, the Prancing Pony logo at 12 o'clock. In fact, Ferrari basically takes over the branding in this chronograph. 30-minute totalizer at 3 o'clock, and at 6 o'clock you have the continuous running seconds with the first 15 seconds accented, graduated in yellow, as if to imply the acceleration of a Ferrari car, which is a nice accent with the tachymeter on the chapter ring for this stainless steel chronograph, which comes on its original yellow Ferrari presentation box and with an additional rubber strap as well. As you can see, with all the trappings, all its original accessories, which includes the Ferrari rubber strap. This is the reference FER 00008 stainless steel chronograph in 45 millimeters from around 2006. The piece was listed at no reserve at lot 441. And it is currently being bid at almost 2,900. I would, except I need to be stupid rich to do that. Nothing stupid about adding Panerai into the collection, but I have so many other priorities, both watch-wise and otherwise, that as much as I like Panerai, it wouldn't be the first, second, or third watch that I would go for. So it's a little bit kind of down the hierarchy for me, to be honest. At 442, we have a Memovox Polaris, reference E859. This is the alarm version of JLC's iconic dive watch. In fact, the Memovox Polaris is a genre into its own. The piece is not necessarily in stellar condition, but these are quite desirable. This is the triple crown version, which has, of course, separate crowns to set the alarm as well as to rotate the inner timing bezel. The piece has Arabic numerals at 6, 9, and 12 o'clock, and a date window at 3. Thick baton markers for the rest of the hours. The piece is thick and beautiful with extra perforations on the case back for to make the alarm function a little more audible under water and also above the water as well. This is lot 442. Gégé Lecoutre Memovox Polaris, reference E859 in a 42 millimeter stainless steel case, the triple crown with one dedicated to the alarm and the other dedicated to the inner rotational timing bezel. The piece is currently being bid at around 3,350 in US dollars. At 444, we have the reference 855 from late 60s. This is the Gégé Lecoutre Memovox with a two-tone silver dial. A beautiful piece. This is 1968, comes with the archival extract. If you want to learn more about Gégé Lecoutre's alarm watches, the Memovox specifically, I had the director of content and research from Wind Vintage, Charlie Dunn, as a guest in my channel. So please take a look at this video on your own time for a conversation on the Memovox. It is very informative. I loved having that conversation with Charlie, and I can't wait to have him back on the channel soon. But that was one of his biggest passions, the Memovox specifically, and alarm watches more generally. So it was a pleasure to have him on the channel on that occasion. This is a 37 millimeter stainless steel case, beautifully styled in two-tone. The center dial points to the setting of the alarm. There's also a date at 3 o'clock. Again, the extra crown is for the setting of the alarm function. At lot 444, you have a Gégé Lecoutre Memovox E855 from late 60s, currently being bid at right above 2,000 in US dollars. By the way, it's last 30 minutes. So if you would like to direct my attention to any of the lots on this auction, anyone I skipped or one I didn't get to yet, feel free to send in a super chat with the lot number, and I would be more than happy to attend to it. At lot 446, we have a Gégé Lecoutre Futurematic. As you can see, this is a back winder, right? The crown is actually on the case back rather than on the side of the watch. Power reserve indicator, seconds, and Arabic numerals alternating with arrow markers for the indices. This is a beautiful piece as well. Reference E501 with bumper style self-winding caliber. And again, quite unique for its time, kind of futuristic, hence the name Futurematic, a self-winding watch with a power reserve indicator on the dial at 9 o'clock specifically, and running seconds at 3. A balanced look for the dial with both the small seconds and the power reserve expressed in the form of subdials and indicated with extra hands. This piece also started at no reserve at 1 franc at lot 449, but it is currently being bid at 1,560 in US dollars. Continuing the Gégé Lecoutre Reverso theme, we have a duo face white gold from early 2000s. The primary dial is black in the Art Deco style with the center of the dial in a guilloche decoration, a rectangular small seconds at 6 o'clock, which has its own railroad track. Dauphine hands and Arabic numerals at 3, 9, and 12 o'clock. On the reverse side, you have sword hands over a salmon pink dial. The round dial is framed within the rectangular case by a hobnail decorated piece. There is also a rosette style guilloche at the center, loomed Arabic numerals at 3, 9, and 12 as well, and an additional 24-hour hand, which serves as a day-night indicator. This is a dual face reverso in the Kantai case, which is 26.5 by 42.5. And at lot 447, this execution of the dual time function in the form of the swiveling marvel, the Art Deco watch, the original sports watch, JLC Reverso, is currently being bid at $7,800 in US dollars. At 448, we have an interesting Omega piece from the immediate post-war era in a 34.5 millimeter yellow gold case with teardrop lugs, a triple date with the moon phase, small seconds at 6. Ensconced within it, you have the moon phase. You have a pointer date on the perimeter of the dial, printed in blue and indicated with a blue hand as well. You have 2 aperture right under the signature, under the logo of the brand at 12 o'clock for the day of the week and the month. Alpha hands against baton markers on the silvered dial. An absolute classic. Comes with an Omega presentation box as well. This is an Omega Cosmic triple calendar moon phase watch from roughly 1946. Reference number for Omega is 2473. At lot 448, this watch failed to attract any bids yet. The starting bid is right around 4,450 in US dollars. At 449, we have a pre-moon lyre lug Omega Speedmaster from around 1967. So the 42 millimeter stainless steel case made by Huguenin Frères. This is a reference number 145012-67 with the Omega 321 chronograph that is the Moonwatch caliber. In a very good, honest condition with the nicks and scratches that a watch of its age should have and should proudly wear. This is a pre-moon Omega Speedmaster with the 42 millimeter case and the 321 Moonwatch caliber. an absolute classic from 1967 at lot 449. The piece is currently being bid at around 4,460 in US dollars. At 451, we have a limited edition Omega Speedmaster in a kind of two-tone execution. This is the Apollo 11 50th anniversary. Stainless steel on a matching bracelet, but with an 18 karat moonshine gold, 18 karat yellow gold tachometer bezel. The fixtures of the stepped dial also are step two-tone dial, in fact, are in gold. 11 is, as you can see, marked out specifically with an Arabic numeral as part of the hour markers. There is also that iconic moonwalk illustration within the continuous running seconds subdial at 9 o'clock. A very cool watch, one of unfortunately many. I think there were about 6,969 of these made, even though it's presented as limited edition. It does come with its full set of accessories, which is quite numerous. But the piece is altogether in good shape with the case back, which presents the footprint. This is the Omega Speedmaster, Apollo 11 50th anniversary edition at lot 451, which is currently being bid at 8,358 US dollars, maybe a little more, having started at 1 franc without reserve, completely unused with its stickers intact at lot 451. At lot 452, we have a Cartier Tank Louis, reference 2441. This is with a quartz movement, but in an 18 karat yellow gold case, with the date at 3 o'clock, the beaded grip on the crown, and a sapphire cabochon topping it off. With its box and papers, the piece at lot 452 is currently being bid at around 4,460 US dollars. The dimensions of the case are 25.5 by 37.7. At 453, we have the yellow gold version of the Tank Française on its matching bracelets as a chronograph, sapphire cabochon on the crown, which looks like a bolt on the grip. Of course, you have the two pushers kind of in a stacked look, Roman numerals, heat blued hands, all the classic trappings of Cartier over a silver dial. with a pointer date at 12 o'clock in an oversized subdial. And at 4 o'clock, you have a 30-minute totalizer. 8 o'clock, you have a 12-hour counter. The hidden signature of Cartier is, in this case, part of the X of Roman numeral 10. This is a piece that runs on a quartz movement in a case that is 28 by 36 millimeters. This is once again Cartier Tank Française quartz-driven chronograph with the pointer dates, 18 karat yellow gold on its matching bracelets, reference 1830 for lot 453. The piece is currently being bid at around 7,250 in US dollars. At 452, we have a Tank Avis. This is tank with a bolted bezel, with a screwed down bezel. It's an interesting shape that basically brings together elements from different Cartier designs together on a silver dial, rosette decoration from Cartier Paris, secret signature at 7 o'clock, hidden in that V of Roman numeral 7, railroad track for the minutes, the heat blued sword hands, and stylized elongated Roman numerals with a cabochon, sapphire cabochon on the crown. In this case, you have a caliber 437 MC, which is a hand-wound caliber, and which I think we'll see in the next lot as well. But for now, we are looking at this tank at lot 454. Which is a Tank Avis reference 2484D in yellow gold in a 38.5 by 26 millimeter case. The piece comes with an 18 carats gold Cartier déployant clasp as well. It has so far failed to garner any bids, but the starting bid stands right around 6,700 in US dollars. At 455, we have the Cartier Chinoise. This is from 1975 with another hand-wound caliber. Arabic numerals at the quarters. Sapphire cabochon on the crown. A very well-preserved case in 18 karat yellow gold, 23 by 30. The piece comes at as naked, so to speak, without any box and papers. It does have a Cartier clasp to match the material, but not necessarily the watch. It's not original to the watch, But at lot 455, since this is a rather vintage example from 1975 of the Tank Chinoise, it already has attracted a bid, which is right over 11,000 US dollars at lot 455. At 457, we have a Cartier Tortue with its bezel set in 2 rows of diamonds. This is a pink gold case, 34 by 43 millimeters, a silvered dial with a rosette guilloche decoration, elongated Arabic numerals, elongated Roman numerals with the secret Cartier signature at 7, railroad track for the minutes, and a heat blued set of Breguet hands for the absolute style, diamonds set on the crown, with a sapphire case back, a movement that is decorated in its bridges, on its bridges, by the double wishbone logo, hand wound caliber. The presentation case from the mid 50s. This is a Cartier Tortue with diamond set bezel and lugs in an 18 karat pink gold case, beautiful silvered hand guilloche dial, and a set of heat blued Breguet hands for lot 453, lot 457, which has so far failed to attract any bids, but the starting bid stands right around 13,400 in US dollars. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. It really helps a great deal. At lot 458, we have a Pasha chronograph with a self-winding movement. This was, of course, the waterproof watch redesigned and reimagined by Gérard Janta for Cartier, because the design of the original watch is actually lost to the ages. This particular example is from right around year 2000, 38 millimeter yellow gold case, guilloche dial with the chronograph registers framed in gold rings, heat blued hands, which are lozenge or diamond shaped when it comes to hour and minutes, and generously filled with lume. The indices too are gold rings around round dots of round pips of lume, Arabic numeral at 12 o'clock, and a date at 6, 30-minute totalizer at 3, 12-hour counter at 9, and a continuous running seconds at 3. You get a glimpse onto the self-winding caliber, which is a partially skeletonized rotor as well. The double wishbone logo is absolutely predominant to the aesthetics of this column wheel automatic chronograph movement. The presentation on the leather strap, I think, brings the best out of the Vendome lugs of the Pasha. The Vendome lug style has been first designed by Louis Cartier and adapted to this particular watch by Gérard Jantin. The piece, of course, plays with the nautical theme, so it has a kind of flask-like screw-down crown, which you have to unfasten to actually manipulate it. And it also has a rotational timing bezel, the watch, which is graduated for the first 20 minutes. At lot 458, this early 2000s example of the Pasha chronograph reference 2111 in a 38 millimeter yellow gold case has been presented without reserve, and it is currently being bid at over $6,125. We have a number of interesting Frank Muller watches. I think I will come back to those, but I want to show you this Patek Philippe piece, kind of like a pebble, Patek Philippe pebble with an automatic movement, 35.5 millimeter in stainless steel with a kind of back winder. You know, again, it's a case shape that eliminates the crown. It has a mesh like bracelet that is more or less matching. I think the texture on it is really like lizard skin more than anything. It's almost integrated, but not quite. The bezel is sunray grain brushed in the form of like a sunray, and you have a blue dial, blue sigma dial, a relatively thin piece, kind of like an unidentified flying object on the wrist. An interesting Patek Philippe reference 3580 from the mid 70s in a 35.5 millimeter stainless steel case, blue dial, and an integrated bracelet at lot 470. This piece failed to attract any bids, but the starting bid is right over 8,900 in US dollars. At 473, we have a Mont Blanc vintage styled tacky date, Viret 1858. This is an oversized monopusher chronograph in a 44.5 millimeter pink gold case. Large subdial for a pointer date at 6 o'clock, continuous running seconds at 9, and a 30 minutes totalizer at 3. Breguet numerals and heat blued hands, which are complemented by the red chronograph second centrally deployed, which in its turn picks up after the red accents on the tachometer. Everything is operated by a single pusher that is mounted on the crown in this oversized chronograph, and the exhibition caseback gives you a glimpse into this hand-wound Minerva movement that is proudly displayed. one of only 58 examples from all the way back 2012. Comes with a presentation box, but apparently no papers. This is the Montblanc Vieret 1858, limited edition in a 44.5 millimeter pink gold case of a monopusher with a pointer date at 6. This piece has not yet attracted any bids, but the starting bid is right around 12,250. At 476, we have a Rolex Datejust, fairly recent, in the classic 36 millimeter version. Comes with its box and papers with the black dial, stick markers on a Jubilee bracelet. This is the reference 126200 at lot 479. The piece has failed to attract any offers with less than 9 days to go, but the starting bid is at around 5,600 in US dollars. Pardon me. At 465, we have Frank Müller's classic tonneau case, the Centre Curvex. This is reference 7502cc, pink gold chronograph from right around 2000. The piece comes with a Frank Müller presentation case, matching 18 karat gold buckle, hand-wound column wheel chronograph movement that has an engraved decoration on its bridges that you can glimpse onto from the case back. Actually, quite a beautiful detail. The piece is around 29 millimeters with a two-tone dial in black and silver, a set of spade hands with those quirky stylized Arabic numerals for a gilt accent, heat blued hands for the chronograph registers with the continuous running seconds at 6, 12-hour counter at 9, and a 30-minute totalizer at 3. This is the Frank Müller Centre Curvex reference 7502cc pink gold chronograph from around 2000. Lot 465 has not yet attracted any bids, and the starting bid is right over 5,000 in US dollars. At 467, we have the classic Centre Curvex case, but this time in a much larger 42.5 by 60. This is the Mariner, so it's the sportier version with its box and papers. This piece is also in 18 karat pink gold. It is also a chronograph. A striking and interesting combination of pink, gold, black, and blue accents. The piece has a compass-like appearance on the dial. At the center of the dial, you have, through a small porthole at around 6 o'clock, the date indicator, continuous running seconds at 9, and 30-minute totalizer at 3. All the hands are heat blued, and in all cases filled with loom as well, and so are the elongated Arabic numerals. This piece at lot 467 has so far attracted a couple of bids, and the bidding currently stands at more than 8,350 in US dollars. I think I have about two more pieces. 469 is the Frank Müller design by Carlos Diaz that's called the Long Island. So they're rectangular Art Deco piece, 30 style, 32.5 by 54.5, set of spade hands, beautiful guilloche dial that is executed in this curved fashion, elongated Arabic numerals, porthole at around 6 for the date indicator, railroad track that's elliptically laid out at the center of the dial for the minutes, and officer style lugs that are kind of screwed through for the spring bars, a curved Bombay kind of look on the crystal as well. It's a very nice, interesting contoured watch, very stylish alligator presentation box. This piece, the Frank Müller Long Island reference 1150 SC DT in yellow gold, which looks heavily oxidized and interestingly patinated. It started at no reserve at 1 franc. It is currently being bid at for more than 2,675 in US dollars. At 462, another chronograph, the Cortes Conquistador. This is the square watch in pink gold, 41 by 54 by Frank Müller. Once again, what you have is a very vintage styled piece that has the finishing touches of Frank Müller's unique and rather quirky style. That porthole date window, which is framed in a gold circle, points to the date at 6 o'clock. You have a 2-register chronograph, 30-minute totalizer at 3, 12-minute counter at 9. 30 hands generously filled with loom. So are the numerals, and you have a red arrow for the centrally deployed chronograph hand at the tip. This is again a rectangular case with a square case with a stepped square bezel. Again, ergonomically contoured to sit on the wrist with officer style lugs that are screwed with its original presentation box that looks like a chest and its certificate of origin. This piece is from around 2004. And at lot 462, it has failed to attract any bids. The starting bid standing at $6,700 roundabouts. At 463, we have another Frank Müller watch that has so far not attracted any interesting bids or any interest at all, I should say. 36.5 in a square case. Interestingly, this piece has an ETA movement at 2892-A2 and Roman numerals, which are also sans serif and elongated, but a little bit of a divergence from Frank Müller's house style. We have a silvered guilloche dial with a circular railroad track for the minutes and a sweep seconds, a spade set of hands for hour and minutes. This is the master square with also a date window at 6. In pink gold reference 6000 HSCDT RELR from around 2010. This piece failed to attract any bids, but the starting bid is right over 4,450 in US dollars. I have, I think, 2 more watches to share with you. At 466, we have a yellow gold Frank Müller Curvex on the integrated 5-row beads of rice style bracelets. This is a yellow gold piece from mid-90s, 29 by 39 millimeter again. Silver dial with the Frank Müller house style elongated Arabic numerals with a small seconds subdial at 6, which is framed in the manner of a gold ring, a spade set of hands, very elegantly twisted minute hand. Again, from the profile, you can see how this piece is nicely curved, made to sit properly at the wrist with a curved domed crystal, which gives the watch a very unique and vintage-inspired look on the wrist. And the case back gives you a glimpse of the hand-wound movement, which is very nicely decorated with floral motifs on the bridges. And you can see the beautifully hand-blued and oversized screws as well. This is the Frank Müller Curvex at lot 466, reference 7502 SSG in 18 karat yellow gold with the matching 5-row beads of rice bracelets, 29 by 39. The piece has so far failed to attract any bids, but the starting bid is right around 6,700. And the last watch of the day, please hit the like button on your way out. I'll be back with you tomorrow. We will be talking about upcoming auctions again and some interesting news as well. So stay tuned. The last watch today was again a piece that was listed without reserve, but has attracted some bids already. This is the Master Banker. And Frank Müller's Master Banker was, as you can imagine, kind of marketed towards this kind of international financier type with a triple time zone execution. All right, self-winding caliber with 2 subdials, each with its own time zone, and each with its own set of hands. This piece has a very uniquely shaped case, and it was designed for Versace. Guilloche decorated silver dial with Roman numerals and strikingly heat blued hands. There's also a date window at 3 o'clock. The crown itself also has the Versace head, the Medusa head, so to speak. The piece is in a limited edition yellow gold, 39 by 48.5 millimeter case. It does have a Versace presentation box. It is also engraved on the case back with both the Medusa head Versace logo, the Gianni Versace signature. The hallmarks are very crisp, including the engraving of the reference number as well as the particular number of this example in the series, which is number 39. This is the Frank Müller Master Banker reference 4199/11, a limited edition made for Versace in early 2000s in a uniquely shaped yellow gold case, 39 by 48.5, 3 time zones. The only branding it carries on the face of the watch is the Medusa head, which is replicated or doubled on the crown and which is also on the case back. There's not even Frank Müller branding on the watch. This piece was first listed without reserve, so it started bidding at 1 franc, but with more than 9 days to go, lot 468 has so far attracted a healthy amount of attention, and it has almost crept up to 2,700 at the current bidding, with a little less than 9 days to go. I can see your comments. What's up? I am just about to close. It's been almost 4 hours on the live stream. Feel free to hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm here every day with watch content. As always, it is a great pleasure to talk watches with you. I will come back with more auction reviews tomorrow and further watch content always. Until then, follow me on Instagram and subscribe here. Stay tuned. There are a lot of interesting developments to come for the channel. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Take care, and I bid you adieu. Take care.